Welcome to this video on the Porsche. It's a bit of a follow-up video from the previous one in that I was having an issue with noisy air conditioning. I still have that ongoing random throttle dropout, and I ordered a throttle pedal positioning sensor, or at least I thought I did, to see if that would cure the problem. Oddly, it was a Lucas brand, one I'm familiar with, so I didn't really see any problem with it. And basically this is what turned up. One throttle positioning sensor. Unfortunately, it's nothing like the one on the pedal. So I thought, I changed the pedal a few years ago, and I've still had the original one, so I thought I'd dig it out, which I did. And this was back in 2020 I changed. That's how long I've had this odd dropout. But I bought a second-hand pedal because they're not cheap new. And this one here is the original accelerator pedal. The sensor on that pedal is this device here, and it's clearly nothing like the one they've sent me. And it said it was for a Porsche 997 3.8 blah blah blah, usual crap. But anyway, it's not the right bit. I've had this a while. I've got no intentions of sending it back, so just can't be bothered. So the throttle pedal positioning sensor is nothing like the one they sent me, and I actually couldn't find anything else online that related to that shape. On closer inspection, I've kind of come to the assumption that this sensor isn't really replaceable. There's no safe way that I can see to actually remove it. Obviously this pedal wasn't at fault because I still have the same fault today. So what I'm going to do, just for the heck of it, is I'm going to put the original pedal back in the car. I'm sure most of you know this. The car's been standing for a couple of weeks. With my key, if I press the door open button, nothing happens. What you have to do after a couple of weeks is, I don't know, it might even be shorter than that, is lift the handle up once, then press your button, and then the car will open. The throttle pedal itself is only retained by one large Phillips head screw, and then it clips in a downward kind of motion. Let's take a better look. So the retaining screw is that one there, just tucked up at the very top. Take the mat out. So removal is quite straightforward. Put your Phillips screwdriver in there. Now you can probably make out there's a couple of red marks on this. These are scrap merchant marks by the looks of it, because this one came from a breakers. Now to remove it, if I remember rightly, oh, the seat's moving. There you go. Right, so you pull the top out and then try and slide it up. Do remember that it's connected via an electrical connector. Like that, lift it up, and then you can drop it down. And then that will reveal your electrical connector, which I'm gonna undo, remove, and drag the whole pedal out. So the correct way to do it is if you push down here on this grey bit, like so, it pushes in, and then it'll allow you to slide it off. I've had to use a screwdriver between these two faces here just to help lever it off. So this is the one that I put on from a donor vehicle. Part numbers are identical. This one on the right is my original. That's the one from the breakers. So I'm just going to literally pop this one straight back in. Replacement should be quite simple. So we're going to take the plug, slide it on there, make sure you can feel it go home, which it has done. There's a circular hole which marries up with the back of the pedal, and then you've got this cutout piece here which marries up with a raised section on. So that's in there, and then you've just got to slide it down. There you go, and it's dropped in. Put your screw in the hole. All done. So another little issue that's just crept in the last sort of couple of weeks is I'm unable to release my frunk, the front lid, with my button. If I pull it like so, it doesn't do anything. The rear one opens up fine, but fortunately I can still open the front if you listen carefully, which is a bit of a bonus. So I'm going to assume that it's the switch that's failing, as I've still obviously got power to the actuator on the front and it's working on the key. So yeah, I'm not so sure that hasn't played up before over the years, and now it's finally gone. So I shall just replace the switch. Now let's see how the throttle position pedal changeover has gone. All seems okay. Now, going back to the air conditioning noise, I had a really sort of odd whirring noise, kind of speed related, but I thought was fan related, but then I didn't think about it being the fan. I had one comment regarding the possibility that it might be low on coolant. Now, the aircon was working absolutely fine. I had no issues with it at all. But I thought a couple of weeks ago, it was just before I was taking it for its MOT, so I had the car out. I thought I might as well do it. I thought I'll run it into a garage. So I brought the car into Quick Fit. RE the noise from the fan on the aircon side. And it's just having a vacuum test now to see whether or not it's low, or whether or not I've got a leak. So we will find out all in due course. So this guy just started going around my car, checking everything, trying to serve me up with needs this, that and the other, I guess. He just can't pass up an opportunity to try and get some more money out of me. Now, they've told me that it is low on gas and that there isn't a leak. So despite the fact that it still works, it is low on coolant. So they're going to top it up with new coolant, and they're going to do a conditioning bomb to lubricate the system as well. 95 quid. They've done very well today, I reckon. Apparently, according to Quick Fit, the Porsche 911 has one of the largest capacities for coolant, and mine was down to about 40%. Where the noise crept in before. It's gone. So, Paul Grimwood, that was a top tip, and if your coolant is low, it can start to present strange noises through the system. So I'm really pleased with that. So that seems to be the aircon sorted. They put a conditioning bomb inside the cabin, which had to run for about 5-10 minutes, and it basically, they say it conditions the aircon unit and the pipes and everything else. Took that with a pinch of salt, but and it also makes the car smell fresh as a daisy. But apart from that, I don't have a lot of faith in that sort of thing, to be truthful. but I'm pleased with the result. The aircon does seem to be sorted. The noise has definitely gone, and it was low on gas. It is a little bit cooler than it was. The guy said when I took it in that it's really cold already, but he said if we can't make it any colder, then we won't charge you. And just for my bad luck, he made it colder. So, but yeah, the capacity is rather large apparently on the 911, one of the largest systems in a standard sort of motor car. And I guess it must be because obviously the pump, etc., is all in the back of the vehicle, and your coolant and your condensers are all in the front. So it's got a long way to travel, hence there's more gas. So fingers crossed, that's that job ticked off the list. I've got to look into that little switch for the frunk, which I will do. I'll just replace it. They're not that dear. It's quite possible. It does get used a lot. So thanks for watching this one. Aircon done. Throttle pedal changed over. See what happens there. And just got to sort out that switch. So if you've come across any issues with that frunk switch or either of the switches down by the door, let me know. But I'm just going to order a new switch anyway, I think, just to see if that can solve the problem. Thanks for watching. Porsche Minor Mechanics. Porsche and Campers out.